baseball.
Or something.
Hands up, you guys!
Immediately. Hello?
Is that going to be copyrighted? Shane's going to demonetize this.
Oh, we gotta straddle this.
Oh!
Are you gonna let me straddle this?
Oh, Tiana. Come on.
Capo.
DeCapo kids from the top. From the top. Try number 5.
Well, welcome to Pure Chatter. This is part number 50 that we've tried to do. I'm your host, Lisa. This is my co-host for the evening, Samantha.
Oh, and the's dogs underneath this table.
If you're hearing dog noises, because we have dogs currently
dogs here
in the vicinity.
Barky dogs. And he's going to lay by himself. Now that is a good boy. Wow.
That's all we've ever asked for. So everybody just relax and be quiet, because I'm trying to do something.
Just be quiet.
Just be quiet. I don't ask for much, but that is all I ask for.
Right.
Quiet.
So this is Pure Chatter. Lisa is a Northern California video movie reviewer. She is very big on the YouTubes and a creative soul, and I'm happy to be here.
And my lovely co-host this evening, Samantha, is a beautiful person, has a beautiful mind, hasn't seen too many movies, but we love her anyways.
My downfalls, actually.
I come to her for all my dog things, because she knows the dog things. And she's here to make sure that you guys laugh, because if she laughs, y'all will laugh.
Cool.
Is that what we're going for?
Contagious. That's
Contagious. That's what we're doing.
Contagious with Matt Damon. Thanks, everybody. It's one of the movies I've seen.
Contagion? In 2020?
Oh, I watched it in May with Tim. So
you watched it in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Further the spook, and that's fine.
Speaking about spooks,
Spooks.
in a couple of days it's October.
Welcome to fall, folks.
Welcome to fall and welcome to Halloween, even though technically it's canceled. I don't think anyone's believing that. We're still just going to do it anyways.
No, people will be getting candy. People will be dressing up. I hope to be both of those things.
Yes.
My goal is to be both of those things.
Yeet the treats to the youngins.
The treats.
Yeet the treats. But I thought because it's going to be a spooky month, we should start off with a spooky topic. What do you think?
Yeah, totally. I'm wondering
like,
which topic is going to be the spooky topic.
Processed
Personally.
Processed toppings or serial killers.
Let me just throw that in there really quick just so we can touch on it and I can get it off of my chest. Something I've been thinking about a lot this week. I should just pull up the picture so that I can properly recite it because otherwise I'm not going to remember it perfectly.
And if you can't see it, I'll try to put it in here.
Well,
we'll see how well my editing skills actually
I'll
are.
just put that there so we can both observe.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we went camping last weekend and we found that... Thanks, Carl.
We needed that.
DeCapo, folks. Started from the top. We found that we did not have enough cheese, so the lovely Collins Lake Camp Store did provide us cheese because they are better planners than we are. So we bought this cheese, and instead of actually being cheddar cheese shreds, as one would think a bag of orange flaky things would be, it is called cheddar-style shreds. Pasteurized processed topping. So that leads me to believe, number 1, it's not actually cheddar because it's cheddar style. Number 2, it's shreds.
Well, it also just explains a lot of issues we were having while camping. Like, why isn't this cheese melting?
It's like vegan cheese. It just wouldn't melt. We got
trying to make
hot.
nachos, and nachos were sitting on the grill for 50 minutes. It wasn't melting. It wasn't doing it. But now we know. It's because it's not real cheese.
We had chips with cold cheese on top of them. So.
We had some beans in there.
And olives.
It was an
interesting dinner. Turned out fine.
It wasn't our best. I'm trying to think what our best meal was that day. Or that trip. In
my personal humble opinion, I would say the fried potatoes that we made with the shrimp.
Oh, yeah.
Bougie this time around.
Ooh, very bougie. Yes. And the breakfasts were always bougie.
So the overnight oats turned out surprisingly well. I don't know why they would have said to put egg whites in them. Didn't buy into it. Didn't do it.
We don't need protein.
I don't need protein. Anywho, I think our breakfasts were bomb. We had some really killer egg scrambles. Hash browns were out of this world.
With the chives.
Chives, because Lisa was a bad bitch and bought us chives.
There was some recipe that I remember us pulling up that needed chives, but of course I also needed to buy fries and I didn't. So we just put them on other
things.
things.
We didn't bring tots?
We didn't even
we
bring
brought
tots.
Hash browns.
I even
really
said
good.
I was going to bring tots, and no tots were brought.
You can eat your tots.
Didn't eat no tots.
You know, you could drink full, what is it? You could drink whole milk if you wanted.
I don't want to.
That's
I'm
the
good.
other one movie I've seen. Just want to close that up there. Pasteurized processed topping, not even shredded topping, just pasteurized processed.
I just want to know what it is. So if the makers can just tell me, just send me an email. It's fine.
I
don't know my email I'm going to give you, but
your mom at yahoo.com. At Hotmail.
It's definitely at AOL.com.
SBCglobal.net.
Well, I'm glad we started off with the cheerful topic because I'm going to spook you today.
I was really spooked by the processed topping.
It's also very spooky. It's not cheese. What are you? My God.
Oi.
I thought I would bring to you 2 serial killers that I don't think many people talk about. They're unknown. I'm assuming you haven't heard of them, is actually what I'm saying.
Serial killers.
Yes.
Okay.
So we can either start with the male or the female. You have a preference?
Bad bitch, non-committal.
Great.
Female, please.
She's also a local serial killer.
Oh, yeah?
If you would imagine that here in Sacramento on F Street.
Anyone trying to kill anyone in Sacramento. It's like blissful here.
She was like, I don't remember the actual name because I forgot to write it down, but it was like Death Landlady was her serial killer name. It's Dorothea Puente.
Dorothea? Wait, Dorothea?
Dorothea. Not Dorothy, Dorothea.
Yikes, that sounds like the devil anyway.
Yes. I watched exactly 1 episode.
I am a educated professional.
I did some research. No, I started Wikipedia like most people do, and then went from there.
As one does.
The first time I heard of Dorothea is actually from Ghost Adventures. Would you imagine that? Huge fan, guys. Sponsor us. They went to her house where they found all these bodies, which I'll get into.
Oh, how many bodies?
A lot.
Curious. A lot.
A lot.
Okay.
So Miss Dorothea has been in California her entire life. Just a quick background on her, if anybody wants to know.
Childhood trauma.
Oh, yes.
Emotional abuse.
Yes. I gotta find it
siblings.
first. Hello? Where are my notes?
Daddy issues.
Well, she came from a large family. And both parents were alcoholics. Mom was also a prostitute, but she died when Dorothea was 10. And then Dad, from what I read online, I couldn't find a citation, so don't take my word for it. But he would continuously threaten to kill himself in front of his kids.
Whoa.
So he was a little suicidal as well. And I believe he actually did commit suicide because she ended up in an orphan home where she also was sexually abused.
Shit, of course she killed people.
Things were stacked up against her already.
This is why we need to foster system, okay?
And then
Send her to an orphanage.
immediately, yeah.
Okay.
And then at the age of 16, she gets married. She has 2 kids and puts those kids up for adoption. So I think already.
So Dorothea has some children floating around. I wonder if they know if they're really good.
Ancestry.com? Got anything to say?
That'd be a little miserable. Oh my god, I found my biological mother. Dorothea!
Dorothea, she died in a prison. Oh, no.
Alright.
So, Dorothea's favorite crime was forgery.
Why?
Great question. But not only forgery, but she loved to take advantage of elderly people.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable. I am so uncomfortable.
So,
Kathy, turn this off.
Kathy, do not listen to this.
My grandmother, who I love very dearly.
Do not listen.
It's not for you anymore.
At one point, she was posing as a nurse, and she drugged 4 people and forged their social security checks.
Damn!
Yeah, so
Dorothea.
So she did do some time for that. it was a 5-year sentence, but she only had to do 3 because of good behavior. So she was good inside. I should tell you, I'm going to pull up a picture of her, because I think
I'm going to give some context to you.
I think you need to know something about her.
Picture here, future Lisa, so that we can see Dorothea
so,
in the flesh.
I'm sure you could tell by the name of Dorothea, but Dorothea is an older lady.
Yeah, it seems like an old-timey type name.
She herself is elderly. And taking...
She herself is elderly. Oh, yeah, that's a bad bit right there. So it is spelled Dorothea for our listeners.
Dorothea.
Dorothea. Wow.
And so it is...
My clients.
Hello? I've seen you before. Hello?
Sorry.
We're getting back on track. It's fine, everyone. It's fine. Okay? So, from the Crime Story episode I was watching, it was a social worker that actually called in a missing person. So, in the 80s, Dorothea had a in-care boarding home. Yep, you heard me correctly. An in-care boarding home.
Wow.
And the social workers really liked her because she tended to take the down and trodden. So the alcoholics, drug addicts, people, the people who've got like heavy mental problems like schizophrenia and stuff like that. She'd take those guys. And she was a little, she was kind of praised for taking on all those. So one of the social workers was really like seeing like this guy that she put in Dorothea's home, Bert. That was his nickname, Bert. Yeah. And saw that he was doing really good, and she was excited about that. But then one day he disappeared. And after several weeks, she finally called the police.
Hello?
And there was this whole scandalous thing. Dorothea had set it up for somebody else to call the social worker to say that Bert was with family. And he's with me. I'm his uncle.
Oh, shit.
Don't call.
Oh, she thought ahead. That's actually a pretty...
Yeah, and so she still went ahead with the police. So the police show up to Dorothea's house. I believe I have the date here. November 11th, 1988.
We're coming up on the anniversary.
Hello.
I take this out.
Maybe. Or just drive by the house. The cops were there, and they were poking around, and they asked Dorothea if they could dig in her yard.
I think you need a special warrant for digging in somebody's
Dorothea happily showed them where the shovel was.
Of course she had a shovel.
Shovel already.
Okay.
And so after digging...
Sorry about that, everybody.
After digging for like a minute, they thought they hit a tree root. So they're sitting there tugging on a tree root.
It's a femur.
And they pull it out, and it's a femur, and they're like, oh no.
Oh no is right.
And they also found a shoe that still had a foot in it. Just bones.
So I wonder though, what the actual repercussions for that are. Like, what if it was, like the previous owner or somebody else who did it? Can they actually stick her with that? How do they go about charging her? Do you have details?
Yeah, so that, just finding the femur led to them digging up more of her yard.
How many bodies does it take to charge someone?
I believe they found 7 bodies in her yard. And they were able to trace them all back to people she was taking care of.
That is unfortunate.
Yes, and no one was notified because she was cashing in their Social Security checks.
As if they were still alive.
So no one even questioned it because it was like, oh, they're still cashing it. They must be alive. I'm not going to do a welfare check on them.
They're good. They're taking the government's money. It's fine. So
while they're digging, I guess at some point she just darted for the hills. She's like, I'm out. Oh, they got me.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. And this story got me every time I read it. She was in LA at a bar talking to an elderly guy about his Social Security check, and he recognized her from the news. So he called the police, and then they found her at a motel, and she still was trying to say she was somebody else. Like she's...
How do you have a different name? You can't even make that shit up.
She just gave a different name, and they're like, well, we're going to have to see ID. And then she's like, okay, I'm Dorothea Puente.
Show me your papers. Take me to prison.
Like, excuse me, ma'am? You can't just be trying to do that.
Okay, well.
Now, a word from our sponsors. Oh, wait, we don't have any sponsors. So here's a list of people we would like to sponsor us. White Claw, Coors Seltzer, MeUndies, maybe Honey, maybe Farm Fresh to You, Imperfect Produce. We'll take any sponsors, really. Now back to the podcast. We changed spots.
Here we are. I'm more comfy over here. And the dogs have settled again because they were very, very off-put by our postmate.
Yeah, just a little bit. A smidge.
Angry dogs.
Well, I'm almost done with Dorothea. I just have a few more facts about her.
I've been thinking about her all dinner.
That's what I needed to hear.
She's the Betty White of serial killers.
She's something. That's for sure.
She's something.
Okay, so she went on trial for 9 counts of murder. So they found
2
7
more bodies?
So they found 7 bodies in her
backyard.
Yard. Yes.
Suspicious.
They believe there were 2 bodies before then. One was her fiancé, Everett.
Black Widow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically killed him for his social security check. If you couldn't sense a theme yet.
I see a pattern happening here.
She's really all about those social security checks, honestly. And then before that, she actually bought the house with this girl named Ruth that she has the boarding house in.
Uh-huh.
And then Ruth just magically died.
Oh,
and they said it was a suicide.
No way.
But it was an OD.
Of what?
I think it was codeine and acetaminophen.
I didn't know you couldn't mix those. PSA, folks, we can't mix acetaminophen and codeine.
Please don't.
No ibuprofen and perp drink.
That's all I can ask. Don't do it.
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad.
Sure.
So she went to trial, right?
Sure.
Problem is they couldn't actually put a cause of death on any of them because they were all really ill anyways.
Oh.
So the defense just kept saying they died of natural causes, and she buried them because she didn't know what else to do. But they did say she admitted to still taking their checks and burying them, but she never admitted to actually killing anyone.
A girl's got to pay her bills, right?
Hello?
Am I right, ladies? Yikes.
And the only thing the prosecution had was like high levels, and I had to look this up. It was Dalmane. Which was, they're sleeping pills.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she drugged the heck out of them then. Honestly, I wouldn't know what to do with a dead body either if I happened upon one. If I needed to do something with it, I'd probably bury it too.
Yeah, you just don't know, and then you don't want to actually make someone thinking you did it.
Also that. I mean, like, first and foremost, make sure you have an alibi. I just don't want everyone to think that I did it.
Right. I don't even want to put the thought in your mind. I'd rather not if we could.
I will hide it in my own backyard or whatever.
So she only was convicted for 3 of those.
Okay.
3 of the 9 counts of murder.
And tell me that she couldn't get out on good behavior this time. Like, she actually went to prison.
No, she got sentenced life without parole.
Great. Probably 3 times over, because 3 bodies.
Yes, and she died in prison.
Oh, well, don't kill people.
Security checks.
The moral of the story here, kiddos, don't kill people and you won't die in jail alone in prison.
And if you're already thinking, man, I would never go to Alaska, I'm going to give you another reason to never go to Alaska. You're welcome.
Because, like, why would you want to go somewhere tropical or historical? Just go up in the tundra.
Just in the tundra.
Open spaces.
So, a few weeks ago, I was in Wisconsin visiting family.
Hells yeah. Let's piece my hair.
Hair.
Hello.
And my dad and I were sitting trying to figure out a movie to watch. And number 2 on Netflix that day happened to be this movie called The Frozen Ground with my favorite, Nick Cage. And John Cusack.
Nicholas. And John Cusack.
Both of them.
Can I admit that I thought that they were the same man for like a long time?
This is Julian all over again with
Anne Hathaway and Sandra Bullock and Julia Roberts, who was in Pretty Woman.
Yes,
Sandra
John
Bullock.
Cusack and Nick Cage, same people.
Have you ever seen Nick Cage and John Cusack in the same room, Lisa?
Yeah, I saw a whole movie.
I get my glasses on my mic thing. Cool. Right.
Okay, and the movie was actually based on a true serial killer in Alaska.
What else is there to do in Alaska?
What else is there to do in
Sorry,
Alaska?
Julia, if you're watching.
My bad. Robert Hansen, the butcher baker, is what they called him.
The butcher baker.
Because he owned a bakery.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. I'm a little skeptical of the breakfast sandwiches.
He did not say he did cannibalism, but I couldn't find anything about it, so.
Does one do cannibalism? Does one, like, practicing medicine, do you practice cannibalism?
I think it's a practice. I don't...
You can never quite perfect the sear on a thigh meat. A piece of thigh meat.
A piece of thigh meat? Oh, no.
Big thighs, save lives. Come here, little buttercup.
So Robert Hansen.
Yeah, Robert Hansen.
Okay, so in September of 1982, this is in the 80s, a cop actually found a boot just chilling outside of the tundra, but like outside of the city, so like in the wilderness, where people would normally go hunting.
Yikes. Big yikes, right
So
away.
that was the first time the body was found, and it took them forever to figure out who it was.
How come?
Because his targets were all dancers and prostitutes.
Oh, okay.
So, and then what I was learning on Crime Stories.
Sponsor,
Crime Stories. I don't think they're doing it anymore.
Probably not. No.
Probably
Too
not.
spooky in real life these days. Continue.
Continue. Oh my god.
Who's making mouth noises?
Okay.
Stop it, buddy. Holy smokes.
So what they were saying is that during that time, people would actually, talent scouts would send dancers to Anchorage, Alaska for a few months to get their sea legs.
To get murdered?
Yeah. And then they would bring them back down to like Seattle or something like that.
Okay.
And they're topless dancers. They're
exotic dancers.
Yes.
That makes it more exciting. Okay.
So when somebody would call in a missing person who is a prostitute or a dancer, the police didn't think twice about it because they often just are only there for a few months and then they leave.
Damn. Okay. Was he working with then whoever was setting the dancers up there? Like how are they connected?
Those aren't connected.
They aren't?
No, that whole thing was just how the cops thought. Because of that culture that was already there, the cops were like, yeah, I'm not gonna
target.
I'm not gonna look into that because she probably just left.
Right.
And so it made them very easy targets.
Wow. That's unfortunate.
A little bit. Just a little bit. And so within every year, it's like once a year, all of a sudden they just start disappearing. Again.
Like multiples?
It was in 1982, I believe.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, 1983 is when multiples started happening.
He's getting sloppy now. He's getting too confident.
Yeah.
Sloppy serial kill me.
Hello? Do him right.
Do him right. Do it to him.
So it's so he already had 3 times where prostitutes accused him of assault.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm back.
And then he was never prosecuted for a kidnap and rape charge on him of a prostitute.
Never charged for that?
Never charged for that. No. So he was already a little icky, but it took...
Icky.
It took the cops forever to figure that out about him. Honestly.
Big
I was
icky.
watching it and they're like, yeah, we have about 24 suspects. And this guy was number 24. And I was like...
Oh my god.
How many people are using prostitutes in Alaska?
Probably a lot.
Again, there's nothing to do.
Nothing else to do in
Bars
Alaska.
and prostitutes. I get it, man.
Yikes. Wait, okay, lots and lots of mouth noises. Hey, buddy, stop.
So, like, the cops were convinced it was Robert Hansen, but they actually didn't have any actual proof that it was him.
Okay.
So, they actually called the FBI and asked for a criminal profile.
Did y'all come to Alaska?
When they were doing that whole experiment. If y'all have ever seen Mindhunters, that's what they were doing.
Oh, okay.
Which is based on a real thing.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
So, and it was the first time I thought this was very fun. It was the first time a search warrant was granted just based off a criminal profile. And no evidence.
What does that mean? Look for somebody who looks like they might be capable of this?
No, so like that was a search warrant that let them go into Robert's house.
Oh.
Because he fit the profile.
A physical profile?
A
criminal.
What
is a criminal profile?
Have you ever seen Criminal Minds?
No.
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 Oh my gosh. So the idea is that there's in the FBI there's this bureau that will look at the behaviors of serial killers and then they try to anticipate when they're going to strike next. So they'll go to these towns that are having multiple killings happening and then they basically study the victims and then they'll tell you this is who we think did it. And it's like usually, they'll say like it's a white man, he's in his early 20s, and like get it down to that specific.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay, FBI, spooky.
Spooky.
Spook.
But they started doing all that in the 70s.
Oh, shit.
So it was the first time they ever actually got to use that kind of profile to get a search warrant.
And they got into Robert's house. Mm-hmm. What did they find?
Oh.
What did they find, Lisa? Tell me. I gotta know.
So, a few years earlier, Anchorage was awoken, I say.
You waked him.
You woke him up.
Wakey.
By a woman running down the street with handcuffs on, saying that he's gonna kill me.
Whoa.
And so she finds her hotel room and the cops are notified and find her. God. Right?
Yeah.
So she describes, like, everything about this guy's house to the T and was like, he... Basically, how he lured them is he said that, I'll pay you good money for nude photos. Do a nude photo shoot. And they're like,
hell yeah.
I use a few dollars.
Everyone needs some dollars. Everyone needs some nudes.
And then he would take them home, chain them to a pole in his basement.
Jesus.
Have his way with them several times. Robert.
Jesus,
and then
Robert.
he would take them from his house to his private plane.
Ew.
Fly them out into the middle of the wilderness. Let them go, and then he would hunt them.
Oh my God.
Spooky!
That is elaborate, and that is some Alaskan bullshit.
You're gonna go hunt them? Hunt?
Wasn't there a movie about that got canceled? And then put back on and then canceled again?
I don't know.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Big yikes. So what's Robert's issue?
Well, I don't know what Robert's issue is specifically,
like, I
but
feel
he
like it's
had
emotional
priors.
abuse, but more.
Yeah, he's got prior.
What makes you do shit like that?
Mommy issues?
Just like drop them in the forest.
Just drop them in the forest and then
hunt them.
Because they're the most dangerous game.
Oh. Okay. All right. Tone that down. Okay.
No.
There's dogs trying to faint in her hair. Doggy, stop. Wow. Well, that was a lot of information, and to be totally honest, I'm glad I have the dogs here.
Yeah.
just in case serial killers, because you never know.
Yeah. I mean, good for us. We're not prostitutes.
We have that going for us. I knew that we were doing well,
the lessons are a chance, I think.
The chances are less. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
You can cut that out, future Lisa. Our chances are lower because we're not prostitutes. Just give me credit for the joke.
Just give it to me.
Snip. Wow. Very interesting. You learned so much.
I think that's all I had.
You're such a good influence because that one game we played when we were camping also taught me a lot of things. Chronology.
Oh,
folks.
yeah.
Hey.
Oh, this is it.
Stop. What?
So one of the things they found in his house was a flight map.
A flight map. That matched where all these bitches
Well, they
went
saw a bunch of
missing.
X's on it and they thought it was just hunting grounds. And then they realized it was hunting grounds.
It was hunting grounds. Oh. What did he do with the bodies when he was done hunting them?
He buried them.
Okay, crazy.
But like shallow graves.
Oh.
Someone was asking to be found.
Honestly, it sounds like he was a little bit sloppy if you're gonna actually
And
find
like
bodies.
when he was confronted with the maps, because I think at that point he was arrested. He was all like, "Yep, those are where I buried them. I could go show you."
Oh, shit.
But like he took them like in the dead of winter, so they actually couldn't dig until spring.
Decompose, and they couldn't, dig.
So out of the 21 spots on that map, they only found 11.
Oh, shit.
And
He probably got eaten by animals.
Yes, and then he admitted to killing 17 girls.
Oh my god.
And 30 rapes.
That's a lot of rapes.
And he was a father with 2 children.
Yikes. Extra big yikes.
Yeah, he was like a pillar in the community, and I think it just shook him.
Shoot.
Yeah, like everyone was like, it can't be him. He's just very sweet. He's a
sweet man.
Everyone can rely on him.
Oh my god. Okay.
No, we cannot rely on you.
So I wonder what changes in somebody's brain to go from like, yes, I'm hiding all of these things to like immediately when they're caught, he's like, yep, I did it. I hid the bodies and I can show you where they're buried.
Well, I think at one point you just go, I can't
We're
go
done here.
I can't do anything more.
Yikes. Okay. Well, I'm thoroughly spooked. Like real spooked.
Yeah.
Carmichael, turn your lights on, please.
He got 461 years in prison.
That was in the 80s, so he's probably still in there, right?
He's probably still in there. I didn't see any death.
He's still alive.
I think he might be, yeah.
Wow, he could be like Joe Exotic and get a whole bunch of fan mail if this blows up, if this goes viral.
Oh.